The Earth of 2147 was not the Earth people once knew. Cities had grown into massive, fortified complexes, towering walls protecting the last remnants of human civilization. Outside the walls, deserts of metal and dust stretched for hundreds of miles. Humanity's faith had faded. Wars with alien forces had left scars on the planet, not just in crumbled cities, but in hearts that no longer believed in hope. People whispered that humanity had lost its chance, that the stars were never theirs to claim. In one of the last remaining free cities, New Horizon, Commander Leora Chen looked over the city's defenses from her office high in the observation tower. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over the city, making the walls glow like copper. Leora's eyes were sharp, but they carried the weight of years spent fighting a battle that seemed never-ending. She had lost friends, mentors, and even family to the unrelenting pressure of survival. Still, she refused to give in. "Commander," a voice called. It was Dr. Elias Ward, a tall man with messy hair and eyes that seemed to shine with endless curiosity. "You need to see this." Leora turned and followed him to the communications room. The walls hummed with the quiet noise of machinery. A screen flickered to life, showing a series of numbers and symbols moving across the display. "It's a signal," Dr. Ward said, his voice trembling slightly with excitement. "It's coming from beyond Pluto, far outside our known systems." Leora raised an eyebrow. "A signal? From who?" "That's the thing," Ward said. "It's structured, intelligent, almost like a map. Coordinates pointing to a region we've never seen before." For a moment, Leora felt something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. But it was quickly replaced by caution. Humanity had chased many signals before, only to find traps, dead ends, or worse, alien ambushes. "Prepare a team," she said finally, her voice steady. "We'll check it out. But this is not a mission to underestimate." The Skyward Initiative was formed within days. It was a team unlike any other. Leora led with her usual mix of determination and pragmatism. Dr. Ward was the mind behind the science, tirelessly studying the coordinates and the alien patterns hidden within the signal. And there was Rin Tavik, a young pilot barely 20, but whose reflexes and instincts were unmatched. Rin was cocky, often challenging the older crew, but Leora recognized that fire could not be taught, it was born. The ship they would use, the Aurora, was unlike anything Earth had before. It was designed for long-distance travel beyond the solar system. Equipped with experimental drives capable of bending space-time slightly, enough to reach the distant coordinates within months rather than centuries. But it was fragile. A single miscalculation could tear it apart. As the crew prepared, tension grew. Supplies were packed, systems tested, and simulations run over and over. But even as preparation went smoothly, an undercurrent of fear spread among the people of New Horizon. Rumors circulated that the signal was a trap. Some believed it was a message from aliens, luring humanity to its doom. Others whispered that it might be the last hope, a final chance to prove that humanity still had power in the galaxy. Leora ignored the rumors. She had no time for fear. She had a job to do. The day of departure came, and the city gathered to watch. The Aurora sat on the launch platform, its sleek silver frame reflecting the morning sun. Children pressed their faces against the barriers, dreaming of the stars. Adults whispered prayers, not to gods, but to the human spirit itself. "Remember," Leora said to her crew as they boarded, "we go not just for ourselves, but for everyone on Earth. Humanity may have forgotten how strong it is. Maybe it's time we reminded ourselves." The engines roared to life, and the ship lifted off, leaving the city behind. The people of New Horizon watched as their last hope disappeared into the sky. For days, the crew traveled through the void. Space was quiet, almost peaceful, and yet filled with a strange tension. Every signal they received was checked, every movement monitored. Leora spent hours staring at the stars, wondering what lay at the end of the coordinates. Rin, who usually kept his fear hidden behind jokes and bravado, was unusually quiet. He sat by the window, watching the stars streak past, and finally spoke. "Do you ever wonder," he asked, "if this is really worth it? If the signal is just empty?" Leora looked at him, her face softening. "I wonder that every day. But the answer doesn't matter. What matters is that we try. Humanity is not defined by how often we fall, but by how often we rise. Even now, even when faith has left us, we rise." Dr. Ward nodded, adding, "And maybe, just maybe, this signal is the proof we need that we are not alone, that there is still a future waiting for us." Days turned into weeks, and the crew grew closer. They shared stories of their lives on Earth, of the mistakes that haunted them, and of the dreams they refused to let die. The journey was not easy. Micrometeor showers forced evasive maneuvers. Systems occasionally failed, requiring long hours of repair. Supplies had to be rationed. And yet, each challenge was met with ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. One night, as the Aurora drifted past the orbit of Neptune, the ship's sensors picked up a strange energy reading. It was unlike anything they had encountered before, pulsing waves of light and energy, bending the very space around it. Dr. Ward stared at the readings, his eyes wide. This is not natural. It's artificial. But it's massive. Bigger than any station. Bigger than any structure we've ever seen. Leora's heart pounded. She had expected alien traps, storms, maybe even empty systems. But this was beyond imagination. "We're approaching it," she said calmly, though inside her chest beat fast. "Prepare for whatever comes next." The closer they got, the more the energy pulsed, as if the system itself was alive, watching, and aware of their presence. The ship's lights flickered. Instruments went haywire. For a moment, everything was silent, then a low hum filled the cabin, vibrating through their bodies. Rin gripped his seat. "I've never felt anything like this." Suddenly, the sky outside the viewport seemed to tear open. A brilliant rift, glowing with white and gold light, split the darkness. The crew gasped. Stars twisted and shifted, as if reality itself was bending. Leora stood frozen, awe and fear mixing inside her. "Steady," she said. "We don't know what it is, but we keep control. We are humanity, and we face what comes. Together." The rift pulsed again, stronger this time. Instruments screamed, alarms blared, and the Aurora trembled. Dr. Ward shouted over the noise. "The energy! It's pulling us!" Leora's hands flew over the controls. "Hold steady! Divert all power to the stabilizers. We are not going anywhere without our will." The ship shook violently, and for a terrifying moment, it seemed the Aurora would be ripped apart. Then, as suddenly as it had started, the rift stabilized, forming a shimmering gateway in front of them. Leora exhaled. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was firm. "We go through. Whatever waits on the other side, humanity will face it." Dr. Ward placed a hand on her shoulder. "It's beautiful. It's hope." Rin nodded silently, eyes wide. "Let's do it." The crew braced themselves as the ship moved toward the rift. Light enveloped the Aurora, twisting and turning around the hull. Stars stretched into lines, and time seemed to bend. Then, with a final pulse, the ship vanished from all sensors on Earth. Back on New Horizon, the people stared at the sky, where the Aurora had been moments before. The city was silent, and then, slowly, whispers began to rise. Whispers of hope, of courage, of a chance for humanity to rise again. Leora and her crew had left the known universe behind. What they would find beyond the rift, no one knew. But one thing was certain. Even when faith had left humanity completely, its forces, the courage, the ingenuity, and the will of its people were ready to tear open the sky. And so, humanity's last hope journeyed into the unknown. The aurora emerged from the rift into a space that seemed impossible. Stars were brighter here, not scattered randomly but arranged in precise geometric patterns that twisted and shimmered. The black void stretched endlessly, yet it was filled with soft, glowing lights that pulsed like the heartbeat of the universe itself. Commander Leora Chen stared through the viewport, her eyes wide. She felt a strange mix of awe and caution. "Steady," she whispered. "Keep calm. We do not yet understand where we are." Dr. Elias Ward moved closer to the navigation console, studying the readings. "This system, it isn't charted anywhere. Nothing we know exists here." The rift didn't just take us to another part of space, it brought us to something entirely new. Rin Tavik, sitting in the pilot seat, gripped the controls tightly. "New isn't always good," he muttered. He didn't say it aloud, but the tension in his body spoke volumes. Every pilot knew the danger of unknown space. Gravity anomalies, hidden energy storms, or worse, traps set by intelligent beings. The aurora moved slowly, scanning its surroundings. That's when they saw it, a massive alien structure floating in the void. Its scale was beyond comprehension. It stretched for thousands of kilometers, with glowing spires and interconnected rings that emitted soft, harmonic pulses. The ship's sensors struggled to comprehend its structure. Dr. Ward's voice trembled with excitement. This is incredible. It's not just a ship or a station. It's a system. A network. Look at the energy readings. It's alive. Somehow. Not living, but aware." Leora took a deep breath. "We need to be careful. Whatever this is, it's ancient. And we don't know its purpose. Keep sensors active, and prepare for any eventuality." As the crew explored closer, a strange phenomenon appeared. Holographic images, like ghostly figures, flickered around the ship. They weren't complete, just partial shapes of beings and structures, as if memories of the past were being projected into space. Rin squinted. "Are these aliens? Or echoes of something that happened long ago?" Dr. Ward shook his head. "I think they are recordings. This system, it stores knowledge, memories of civilizations long gone. Maybe it was a hub where many species shared wisdom." The crew moved cautiously through the area. The aurora's sensors picked up corridors within the structure, large enough for massive ships to pass through. Strange energy currents twisted through the corridors, illuminating patterns that seemed to respond to the ship's presence. "This place is interactive," Leora said, her eyes narrowing. "It's reacting to us. Our ease." Dr. Ward approached a glowing console that floated in space. No visible wires connecting it to anything. "I think it wants us to touch it. Or interface with it somehow." Rin raised an eyebrow. "Wanna let it blow us up instead?" Leora gave a sharp look. "We proceed with caution. But we proceed. Humanity didn't survive this long by running from the unknown." Ward extended his hand toward the console. As soon as his fingers brushed the surface, the aurora hummed, and a series of lights spread throughout the ship. Images flashed across every screen, maps of galaxies, diagrams of energy flows, and sequences showing ships moving faster than light. "The system, it's showing us possibilities," Ward whispered. "Advanced travel, new energy sources. This could change everything for humanity." Suddenly, the structure trembled. The aurora rocked violently. Alarms blared. "What now?" Rin shouted. Leora's eyes scanned the readings. "The rift is destabilizing. If it collapses while we are here, we could be trapped forever. Everyone, secure yourselves. We need to find a way to stabilize it." The rift, we could be I'm and Y. The crew worked frantically. Ward studied the alien interface, trying to understand how to manipulate the energy. Rin piloted the ship with incredible precision, dodging energy pulses that shot unpredictably through the structure. Leora coordinated their actions, issuing orders calmly but firmly, her voice steady despite the chaos. Minutes felt like hours. The rift pulsed wildly, the energy threatening to tear apart both the structure and the ship. Then Ward shouted, "I think I understand. The system responds to unity. We need to work together, as one mind, to stabilize it." Leora nodded. "Everyone focus. Together." The crew synchronized their actions. Ward adjusted the interface. Rin navigated precisely, and Leora coordinated each movement. Slowly, the rift's violent pulsing began to subside. The structure itself seemed to calm, its glowing spires steadying. Breathing heavily, Leora looked at her crew. "Well done. Humanity's first lesson here. We succeed when we act together." Ward smiled, exhausted but happy. "This system, it's showing us that unity is powerful. We are capable of more than we ever imagined." As they regained stability, a new message appeared on the screens, one written in a language that seemed both alien and familiar. Ward translated it as best he could. It was a projection of Earth's fleets, forming and coordinating across the solar system. The message was clear. Humanity is stronger than you think. Trust in each other. Rin's jaw dropped. "That's us? From here?" Ward shook his head. "No. It's a vision. A projection. But it shows what could happen if we work together. Earth is waiting. They are ready. Humanity has not given up completely. Even if we think it has." Leora felt a surge of pride and determination. "Then we return. We take this knowledge back to Earth. We show them that even in the darkest times, humanity can rise." That's our mission now. The crew spent days exploring the alien system. They discovered rooms filled with energy, where machines amplified thought and creativity. They saw chambers that stored histories of extinct civilizations, showing how cooperation and ingenuity had allowed them to thrive, or how division had destroyed them. Rin was fascinated by the piloting simulations, learning maneuvers that defied gravity and physics as he knew them. Dr. Ward studied energy manipulation techniques, realizing that humans could now access power far beyond anything they had imagined. Leora focused on strategy, seeing how this knowledge could be applied to Earth's defense and exploration. But as their confidence grew, so did a sense of urgency. The rift that had brought them here was weakening. If they didn't leave soon, the path back to Earth might collapse, leaving them stranded in this alien system forever. "We need to prepare for departure," Leora said. "Gather everything we can. Knowledge, energy, any technology that can help Earth. Then we return." The crew worked tirelessly. They copied data, stabilized equipment, and coordinated with the alien system to ensure a safe exit. Even with the danger, excitement, and hope filled their hearts. For the first time in decades, humanity's future seemed bright. Finally, the day came to leave. The rift opened once more, shimmering like a doorway to the stars. Leora gave the order, and the Aurora moved forward, carrying humanity's last hope. As they passed through the gateway, the crew felt a strange pull, as if the system itself was saying goodbye. Ward glanced at the controls. "It's almost like it understands us, like it knows we will return to Earth and prove that humanity can survive anything." Rin grinned. "Well, let's not keep Earth waiting." The ship passed through the rift, and for a moment, everything was silent. Then, the familiar stars of the solar system appeared before them. Earth's blue oceans and green continents glowed in the distance. But there was something new, a sense of readiness. Earth's fleets, previously scattered and weak, were now organized and strong, prepared for whatever awaited humanity in the galaxy. Leora looked at the planet she had sworn to protect. "We've learned a lot. Now it's time to show them what we've discovered. Humanity's forces are ready to tear open the sky. Ornamentes of ready to shows. I'm self. Ornamentes of ready. I'm don't 9. Things stilled in the 46 to 47. 2006. Comparingly ready of. Dr. Ward smiled. And maybe, finally, humanity will believe in itself again. Rin leaned back, watching the approaching fleets. I think they will. They have to. We didn't just survive. We learned. We grew. We became stronger. As the Aurora descended toward Earth, the crew knew this was only the beginning. The alien system had given them power, knowledge, and hope, but it had also shown them the responsibility that came with it. Humanity would rise, not through fear, but through courage, unity, and intelligence. The stars seemed to shine brighter than ever. The rift behind them closed slowly, leaving only a memory of what had been conquered. Ahead, Earth awaited, ready for a future that had once seemed impossible. Humanity had taken its first step toward greatness, and the journey was only beginning. Earth glimmered in the distance, a blue and green jewel shining in the dark sea of space. From orbit, Commander Leora Chen could see the transformation that had begun while she and her crew explored the alien system. Humanity's fleets were no longer scattered and uncertain. Ships of every size and design moved in perfect formation, organized and disciplined. The planet itself hummed with energy as new defensive systems and satellites blinked into life, ready to protect what remained of human civilization. This is incredible, Dr. Elias Ward said quietly, staring at the massive fleet. They've done it. Humanity has prepared. Even without our guidance, they've grown stronger. Rin Tavik leaned back in his chair, letting out a low whistle. Stronger. Yeah. But are they ready for what's coming? This knowledge we brought back, it's powerful, and it's going to change everything. Leora's eyes narrowed. Then we ensure it is used wisely. We show humanity that power is a tool, not a weapon. That courage and unity are the greatest strengths we have. The Aurora descended toward Earth's atmosphere, the blue of the oceans reflecting on its hull. The crew felt the familiar pull of gravity, the pull of home, stronger and warmer than they remembered. But it was more than just the planet calling them. The fleets they had seen in orbit were waiting not just as machines, but as symbols of what humans could accomplish when they worked together. Once landed, Leora addressed the leaders of Earth's nations, now united under a common purpose. We've seen what lies beyond the rift, she said. We've seen knowledge and power beyond our imagining. And we've learned that humanity's greatest strength is not in technology alone, but in courage, unity, and determination. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot achieve. The leaders listened, awe and understanding in their eyes. Dr. Ward added, the alien system has given us insight, but it is up to us how we use it. We have the chance to rise, not just to survive, but to thrive in the galaxy. But only if we remain united, and only if we believe in ourselves. Rin stepped forward, his usual cocky grin tempered by seriousness. We have a choice. We can let fear hold us back, or we can take the lessons we've learned and lead humanity into a new age. I vote we lead. Also, Forrest, I vote we lead. Over the following weeks, Earth's forces began a transformation unlike any the world had ever seen. Ships were upgraded using the alien designs. Defensive systems were enhanced with the energy manipulation techniques the crew had learned. And training programs prepared every pilot, engineer, and soldier to work together with unprecedented precision. Leora oversaw the operations, her mind moving constantly, planning strategies for exploration and defense. Ward coordinated the scientific teams, ensuring that the knowledge they had gained was applied safely and effectively. Rin trained new pilots, passing on techniques that once seemed impossible, teaching them to fly not just with skill, but with intuition and creativity. For the first time in decades, humanity moved not out of fear, but out of purpose. Every city, every outpost, every individual contributed to a growing sense of hope. Children watched in wonder as fleets of ships practiced maneuvers in the skies, dreaming that they too might one day explore the stars. Adults began to believe in the future again, realizing that their survival was not just luck, it was the result of human ingenuity and courage. The first true test came when the sensors detected a massive energy anomaly approaching the solar system. It was unlike anything seen before, a wave of energy that could potentially disrupt the planet's defenses and communication systems. Many would have panicked, but not Earth. Humanity was ready. Leora gathered the fleet in orbit. "This is our moment," she said. "We've learned. We've prepared. And now we show the galaxy what humanity can do. Remember, our strength is not in fear, but in our unity, our courage, and our creativity. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are unstoppable." The fleet moved as one, guided by the strategies Leora and her team had developed. Ships weaved through space with precision, energy fields glowing as they activated advanced defenses. Sensors tracked the anomaly, and Earth scientists calculated the perfect approach to neutralize it. As the energy wave entered the solar system, humanity's forces acted. Massive energy shields formed around the planet, redirecting the destructive forces harmlessly into space. Pilots performed daring maneuvers to guide the wave away from populated areas. Engineers used the alien techniques to stabilize satellites and communication arrays, ensuring that Earth remained connected and coordinated. The wave approached the fleet itself, but humanity's ships were prepared. Energy beams, previously theoretical, now worked flawlessly, dispersing the anomaly with precision. For hours, the battle raged, not a battle of destruction, but a battle of ingenuity and skill. Humanity faced a force that seemed unstoppable, yet every action was met with an equal and calculated response. Finally, the wave dissipated, leaving the solar system unharmed. Ships floated silently in the aftermath, the crew and pilots catching their breath. On Earth, people cheered. They had faced what once would have seemed impossible, and they had succeeded. Leora looked out from the command ship, pride swelling in her chest. "This is what it means to be human," she said softly. "We take challenges head-on, we work together, and we find solutions where others see only despair." Ward nodded, his eyes shining. "And now we know what we are capable of. Not just surviving, but shaping our destiny." Rin, leaning back in his seat, smiled. "We've gone from being scared and scattered to being something greater. Humanity's dawn has arrived." In the weeks that followed, Earth did not stop. Humanity rebuilt, explored, and expanded its reach. New ships carried scientists and explorers to distant worlds, establishing research stations and learning from every corner of the galaxy. Communication networks linked planets and colonies, forming a network of knowledge and cooperation unlike any civilization had ever seen. And yet, through it all, the lessons from the alien system remained clear. Unity was power, courage was strength, and hope was the greatest weapon of all. Humanity did not conquer others through fear or violence. It rose by proving the power of intelligence, creativity, and moral strength. Leora, Ward, and Rin became symbols of this new era. They traveled between colonies, teaching, advising, and inspiring. Humanity looked to them not as rulers, but as examples of what could be achieved when the best of human spirit was unleashed. The stars were no longer distant points of light. They were opportunities, waiting to be explored. Humanity had torn open the sky, not with weapons, but with determination, knowledge, and the courage to face the unknown. In every city, on every world, people remembered the journey of the Aurora, how a small crew had ventured into the unknown, faced uncertainty, and returned with knowledge that changed everything. And with that knowledge, humanity built a future that was bright, expansive, and full of promise. The rifts that had once seemed dangerous became gateways for exploration and discovery. Ships traveled between stars with confidence. Scientists learned secrets of the universe, and humanity grew, not by destroying, but by creating, understanding, and uniting. Leora stood on the observation deck of Earth's flagship, looking out at the horizon. The sun rose over a planet, brimming with life, energy, and hope. "This is only the beginning," she said, her voice calm but full of determination. "We have shown that even when faith leaves us completely, humanity can rise. We can face the unknown, master it, and shape our own destiny. Ward joined her, smiling. The galaxy is vast, and there is so much to learn. But now, we know that humanity is ready for it. We are not victims of circumstance. We are masters of our future. Rin, leaning on the railing, laughed quietly. And to think, some people once said humans would never survive this long. Guess we proved them wrong, Leora smiled, a rare moment of relief and pride washing over her. Yes, we did. And we will continue to prove ourselves. Not just for today, but for all the tomorrows that await us among the stars. And so, humanity's dawn had arrived. A new era had begun. One not of fear, but of courage. Not of despair, but of hope. Not of surrender, but of unity. The sky had been torn open, and humanity had stepped boldly into the light beyond. The universe was vast, mysterious, and full of challenges. But humanity was ready. Together, they would rise, explore, and shine. The stars were no longer out of reach. They were home, and with that, Earth's forces prepared to journey farther than they had ever imagined, carrying with them the lessons of the past, the strength of the present, and the hope of the future. Humanity had faced the unknown and emerged triumphant.